Now this insert into database lecture has been ended. Now we need to show the data that we entered in our database using HTML table. So I'm going to close this file from here, and here I have this file simple.php, and I'm going to rename it to view from database. I'm going to save this file as view underscore from underscore database.php. So first of all, in the body section, I'm going to add here a table by which we are going to see our data. So for adding table, we can use this HTML table, and inside this table, we will need some table headings. But before doing anything, let's give our table some width to be 1000, and let's give it some border to be 5, and let's align it in the center. We can also add the caption to this table, view from database. Now for adding rows, we need tr tag, in which we need td tag for adding table data. But before doing that, we need th tag for adding table headings. I need first heading to be id. Copy this one out, paste it, or changing it for our next thing, and that is employee name. Then we have SSN. Then we have department. Then we have salary. Then we have home address. First of all, I'm going to show you what we just did here. So in the browser, we have this new file of view from database. Now you can see view from database. We have these very cool column names. Now for adding our database right on this page, we can add PHP code. So still in the table, I can add one PHP scope right here, in which I'm going to first establish my connection. Then I'm going to write some quality PHP so that our data could add on this page from this database. So first of all, we need this connection.php file. So I have to add the connection in this page to make it connected with our database. So selection as well. Closing of this connection.php file. Now we need to write our query that can view data from our database to our browser. So I'm going to call this query to be view query, and I'm going to equal it with our MySQL query. And for selecting all the data from our database, we can select it by static. Static means show me all the data from my table of emp underscore record. So static means show me all the columns, and from where? From my employee record table, and semicolon at the end. Now we need to execute this query. We can do that by equaling it with this variable of execute. And same thing here, I can call the simple function of MySQL underscore query and pass this query variable inside this function. Same that we did in our insert lecture. Now our query has been done, but we don't want to see just the one record. So we need a while loop that can extract all the data from this database. So I'm going to add here a while loop that can help me to show all of the data. So I'm going to add here a while loop, and inside this while loop I'm going to define new variable of data rows, and I'm going to equal it with this new query function that can fetch all of my data from my this database, and that is my SQL underscore fetch underscore array, and in the parenthesis I can just simply pass this variable of execute. So this one is for running this view query, and this 24th line MySQL fetch array is used for extracting all of the data from my database and putting it into data rows. So in the parenthesis of while loop, we need to define couple of variables that can get the data from our database. So I'm going to first add here a variable of ID and equal it with this new variable of data rows, and first time this new variable of data rows will going to be used for this ID that we have in our database, this small ID that we made for our database. Seeing for the next column, I'm going to change it for new variable of ename, and this time I want to add the row for my this ename, so I have to add this ename here, not e at the end. Then for new variable of SSN, I can add this small SSN that we have in our database. Then for the new variable of DEPT, I can add small DEPT here. A new variable of salary, I can add small salary that we have in our database, this one. Now for home address as well. Now let me revise it again for you. First of all, this view query is going to add this select static, means select all the columns from our employee table. Then this execute query will going to tell our database that we are running our query, and then using this while loop we are going to fetch our data from our database and put it in our new variable of data rows. We need this parenthesis ending right here that belong to this fetch array function, and then we are creating one variable and we are equaling it with this new super global of data rows, in which we are passing our exact parameter of what we have in our database. So we made our table heading earlier. Now it's time we should add table data here. So if I add table data directly from here, it won't going to work. Why? Because this is the PHP tag. So we need to get the hell out of this PHP tag from here. But let's add here our table data, and inside this table data we are just going to echo this ID, echo this ename, this SSN, this DEPT, this salary, this home address. So for first one, in this table data I'm going to add this PHP scope, in which just using this echo this ID. Then for the next item, I'm going to echo this ename. Now for next one, we need semicolon here as well. I'm going to echo this SSN. For the next one, DEPT. For the next one, salary. For the next one, home address. So if I save this one out and refresh my view from database page, we have the error on line 24. Why? Where is line 24? Here. Why we are getting the error? Because these variables belong to this PHP scope. We cannot use these variables because these variables belong to this while loop. So we need to end this while loop right after here, right here, and I cannot just add this right here. I need to add the PHP scope around this parenthesis of while loop so that we can easily access these variables in here. So this parenthesis belong to this while loop, and we have the ending right here as well. So let's save this one out now and refresh our page. We still got the error on line 24. Why? Because we do have one more problem, and that is we didn't add the ending parenthesis for this while loop function. We need to add it right here. So saving this one out, now refreshing the page. Now we got our data here, but this table heading is not working for these record. Also we extract our data from our database, so we need to put this heading on these table as well. How can we do that? We can simply close this while loop right after the tag of our table, so that this while loop could work not only for one row, so that it could work for all the rows for our table. That's why I added this while loop ending right here. We don't need this PHP scope. So saving this one out, now refreshing the page. Now we got our data for first row, nice and simple, but we also have to put it in our table, and we can do that by putting all of these values that we are extracting from our table into tr tag. So tr tag for our table data as well. Here, saving this one out, refreshing the page, hope it would work. So if I put this ending scope of our while loop inside my table, I hope it's going to resolve my problem. So it's going to put all of my rows, all of my data that I am fetching using while loop is going to be inside my table. So I put this ending parenthesis of this while loop here and saving this one out, refreshing the page. Now we got everything in order. So if you want to add some style on this caption, you can just simply copy all of the style from your insert database.php and copy this one out from here, whole style sheet. Let's paste it in our view from database. And let's add the style for this caption. So I can define class of success and class of caption to be same. Saving this one out, refreshing the page. Now we got view from database. So everything is working perfect. Now in this lecture I want to add one more thing, and that is for our next lecture, deleting record from our database and updating record from our database. So I think it would be great if we add the button right here as well. We can do that by simply adding more rows in our table heading. I can add here table heading new to be delete and table heading to be update, and in the table data I can just simply add table data to be simple delete for now, text, and table data to be update for now. Serving this one out, refreshing the page. Now we got delete and update. These one are not working, but we are going to work on them in our next upcoming movies.